Hello and welcome to another of Sethaldor's World of Warcraft guides. This guide is going to be on PvP Fire Mage specking. Now, as I've said previously, and I just want to remind everyone, this is only my suggestion. You should take what I say and customize it for yourself absolutely to the utmost extent. Please don't see this as a definite guide so much as a suggestion and why I'm suggesting it. Now, for fire, we get Pyroblast, pretty powerful spell, but you don't want to sit there and cast it. Fire Specialization increases fire damage by 25%, and Mastery Flash Burn, which will increase the periodic fire damage. And that scales by 2.5% for each point of mastery you have. Pardon, a little bit of allergies if you might hear it. So as a PvP spec, what we need to focus on is things that will allow us to do our job while still getting hit, things that will allow us to get away faster, i.e. movement, altering components, and damage increase all as usual. Something else to note is, as with all PvP specs that I talk about, mana conservation is on the back burner, as I do mostly pug BGs. If you are a big arena buff, you may want to worry a little bit more about mana. That's where the customize it for yourself part comes in. Keep in mind that this is a pug BG recommendation. And as such, since mana is on the back burner, Master of Elements not as appealing. If you want a little more in-depth review on each of these talents, I would highly suggest checking out my PvE guide. There will be a link at the end of this video in the related links section. So, Master of Elements, not really that appealing for a pug BG spec. Burning Soul, however, is quite appealing, as reducing pushback by 70% is awesome, because you will be getting hit in PvP. That's just how it works. Sorry, folks. Next, you also want to pick up Improved Fire Blast, as far as I'm concerned, because increased crit chance and range on an instant cast spell you'll be using fairly often is definitely uber. Next, we have in the next row Ignite, which causes targets who get crit by our fire spells to burn for 40% of that damage over 4 seconds. Awesome. That also is increased by our mastery of Flash Burn, so you definitely want to take that. More dots on the target means more damage coming in from multiple sources, means harder to heal, means they die faster. Pretty self-explanatory why you want that. Firepower is good, flat damage increase, as well as Flame Orb explodes at the end. Blazing Speed is good for PvP, much more so than in PvE, as when you get hit by an offensive attack, there's a 10% chance that you'll have 50% move speed increase. That's pretty awesome. That way, if a melee guy starts beating on you, hey, Blazing Speed, you can run away. Awesome. We also have Impact, which is awesome, because it provides mages with a stun. I would highly recommend taking this. Basically, 10% chance when you hit someone with a spell that your Fire Blast will be reset and stun on next use. Also, it'll spread fire damage over times to other people, but that's more likely than not going to happen. Unless you're in, like, an AV or an AB and a bunch of guys are defending Blacksmith or something. If you're in like a Warsong Gulch or a Battle for Gilneas, not so much. Next row we have Cauterize, which is definitely awesome. It works like a Paladin's Ardent Defender if you're familiar with that ability. Basically, if you were to die, instead you get jumped up to 40% health. The only catch is you'll burn to death in 6 seconds. Ways you can avoid the burning to death would be Mage Ward, Mana Shield, and Ice Block. Very powerful talent, saves your life quite literally, so highly recommend taking it. Next we have Blast Wave, which is awesome because it's a 40-yard range AoE fire, but not only that, it has a slowing component. So don't be afraid to use this on a single target guy, because it does not cost that much mana either. So if you've got like a rogue chasing after you, you blink away, he responds with a sprint, what do you know? Blast Wave right on him. Oh, that sprint ain't helping you for shit, buddy. Helps you get away a little bit. Next, Hot Streak, essential for any Fire Mage spec, regardless of PvE or PvP. Replaces Arcane Missiles with Pyroblast, essentially. Your Pyroblast will be an instant whenever... will have a chance to become instant and free of cost whenever you crit with any of the spells listed. Self-explanatory why that's a good thing. Also, Improved Scorch with a mana cost of 0 with 2 points in this is very nice, even in PvP. I know I said don't worry about mana for PvP, but having a free spell in PvP is pretty nice, because in the event that you do for some reason end up low on mana, like say you're chasing a flag carrier and no one's just beating on you, it's pretty nice to have a free spell because you find yourself out of mana. It does happen. Rarely, but it does happen. So it's a little devalued in a PvP scenario, but feel free to take it. I'm not saying don't take it. If that's your playstyle, go for it. In the spec that I tested, I put 1 point in Blazing Speed next. And in this next row, we have Molten Shields, which is pretty cool. Reduces GCD of Mage Ward by 1 second, and also causes Blazing Speed to remove slowing effects, and additionally, when Mage Ward dissipates from absorbing damage, you gain Blazing Speed. So it's pretty cool. It's really helpful if you're fighting casters, obviously, because of the Mage Ward bonuses, but say you have a warrior who decided to hamstring you. Oh, hey, by the way, Blazing Speed procced, that hamstring, non-existent, because you picked up Molten Shields. So I would definitely say grab that, especially if you're looking into flag running. Combustion is good, another fire instant cast attack that adds a burn. Not going to say anything bad about it, just as far as like comparing this to other talents we took, like Molten Shields, Blast Wave, Cauterize, it's not as appealing, unfortunately. Pardon me. We also have improved Hot Streak, which basically says every time you crit twice in a row with non-periodic damage, you will gain Hot Streak. That makes it predictable. That makes, basically, that says you want crit. So yeah, you definitely want to take that. Next we have Firestarter, which I highly, 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 highly recommend every PvP Fire Mage takes, as it allows you to cast Scorch while moving with Molten Armor up. Now, that does remove the survivability bonus of using Molten Armor, but being able to cast on the move is impossibly more valuable, because with this, people can't get away from you as easily because you can cast while moving. You can DPS while running away from someone, which is awesome. You know, you can still kill the healing priest with a warrior chasing after you, because all you gotta do is kite the warrior while you're, you know, burning the freaking healing priest. So it's really cool. I just love even just the concept of being able to do this. Plus, if there's demolishers in Strand of the Ancients you're chasing down, guess what? They won't be able to get away as easy. Why? Because you can cast at them while running towards them. Awesome. Yeah, so Firestarter, great talent, love it. It's really, I want to say new. I suppose it's new with Kata. And that was my phone. Alright, and with that, that leaves 1 point to get to the next row. You could either grab Combustion, but I personally maxed out Blazing Speed 2 of 2. Next row we have Improved Flame Strike. Pretty cool talent. I personally love this talent, but I did not take it in my PvP spec, as the Blast Wave effect, which is when you Blast Wave 2+ targets, it'll leave an AoE damage over time effect on the ground. That's pretty cool, except if I end up in a battle for Gilneas or a Warsong Gulch or, what is it now, Twin Peaks, the chances of 2+ people being in the same area for more than 2 seconds is kinda low. Unless maybe it's the flag carrier and he's got some defense, but they'll probably run out of the slow or the damage over time effect. The instant flame strike's pretty nice for catching rogues if you're pretty good at that, but Flame Strike's really heavy on the mana. I know I said don't worry about mana in PvP, but Flame Strike is a little ridiculous to just be throwing out willy-nilly. It's comparable to like a Paladin's Consecrate. You don't really want to just be dropping that everywhere anymore. Next talent in this row, Dragon's Breath, really awesome for PvP, especially compared to a PvE utility to this ability. Very low mana cost, kind of an annoyingly long cooldown, but I think there's a glyph for that. It basically does conal fire damage similar to Cone of Cold, and it also disorients the targets. What disorient means is kind of like, if you know anything about rogues, the blind ability that a rogue has is disorienting. There's plenty of other examples I just can't think of right now. Basically, what's cool about this is you can do it and then blink away and they won't be able to chase you unless you have like a burn effect on them, at which point you turn around and start DPSing them again. You could do this to interrupt a heal, because even if they have a bunch of dots on them and people are hitting him, If they're about to get a heal off and you Dragon's Breath, they will be disoriented for at least half of a second, which will stop the cast. So this is a pretty cool talent as far as playing around, having a little bit of extra utility goes. So I would definitely take it. Not to mention you have to take it to get to Living Bomb, so yeah. Next we have Molten Fury, which increases damage done to targets with less than 35% health by 12%. Self-explanatory why that's good. Guy's almost dead, you want to burn him down, good to go. That leaves 1 point to spend to get to the next row. I'm going to do one of 3 firepower. You could easily grab combustion with that point. It is completely up to you. But I would highly suggest not skipping over the free 3% damage increase. Next we have Pyromaniac, which is pretty cool if you find yourself in a lot of AVs, in a lot of Isle of Conquest, like you have pre-mades for that. I don't even know if you can have pre-mades for those, but if you do. Probably in 3v3 or 5v5 arenas, this would be a pretty good talent to pick up. But in smaller ones like Twin Peaks, AB... Well, maybe AB. AB's kind of in the middle. In 2v2s, Twin Peaks, Warsong Gulch, Pyromaniac's going to be a little hard to get usefulness out of because at any one given time, it's highly unlikely that you'll have 3 burns on different targets at once. I mean, I could be wrong. If you have a pre-made and you go pre-made v pre-made, that could be viable. I don't do that. I pug. So in a pug situation, this isn't going to be as valuable as you would think. It's still a nice talent. If you feel that you need to take it, go for it. But I personally did not because its utility is significantly decreased when you're pugging because you don't go and, move as a unit or anything. Next we have Critical Mass, which is awesome. It causes Living Bomb to do 15% more damage, which is great. It also causes Flame Orb to do more damage. Pretty good, I guess. I mean, can't scoff at a damage increase, even if you never use the spell. Also, it increases your chance, or everyone's chance, to critically hit a target by 5% after you've scorched or pyroblasted them. So, that's self-explanatory why that's good too. Goodness, pardon me. So that leaves 2 points to get to Living Bomb. Going to grab Firepower 3 of 3, which allows us to grab Living Bomb. Living Bomb is awesome because it's another damage over time. That results in a large burst of fire damage to not only the target, but everyone around him that is an enemy. So that leaves 10 points unspent. You do, as always, as a mage, want to grab Piercing Ice and Netherwind Presence, which leaves 4 points. These 4 points you can put wherever you want. Feel free to customize the spec. As I said at the beginning of the video, it is very vital that you do so. A spec you created will always be better than a spec that you have no clue about. Unless it is like really, really off. I've seen some strange stuff, folks. Alright, with these last 4 points, I would highly recommend grabbing 2 of 2 improved counterspell, as the silence is pretty awesome, especially coupled with your stun from impact. And with these last 2 points, you could easily grab Combustion and half of another talent. You could grab Improved Scorch, you could grab Invocation. Just things that I would recommend you avoid would be obviously Improved Arcane Missiles, because you no longer get the Arcane Missiles proc. Avoid Torment the Weak, because that's only arcane damage increase to slowed and snared targets. Avoid anything in Frost. Maybe 2 of 3 arcane content, but honestly, if you're worried about your mana that much, it'd be better to get 2 of 2 Master of Elements than 2 of 3 arcane con. I'd highly recommend avoiding Pyromaniac as well, but that's just my opinion. You could grab Improved Flame Strike, Improved Scorch, anything you personally feel to fill out this talent spec. I'm actually going to grab 2 of 2 Improved Blink. I would recommend grabbing Combustion if you disagree with my choice, because Combustion is a very, very awesome spell. Don't knock me for not choosing Combustion in this. I'd like to choose Combustion, but I'd prefer to have the increased move speed over that, simply because that's my playstyle. If your playstyle is to sit there and burn something regardless of your move speed, then you don't need Improved Blink, and you definitely don't need Blazing Speed, which gives you 4 points to put wherever you want. So that's just an example of customizing my suggestion to tailor your specific playstyle and needs. Anyway, this has been Sethaldor on the server Blade's Edge, in the guild Sacrilege, on the character Arctic Shatter, on the topic of PvP Fire Mage Specking. This is a 731-3 build. I have personally used this build in at least one BG, I can guarantee you that much. Thank you for watching. This was fun to make for you. If you like it, please thumb up, please subscribe, please refer me to your friends, please leave a comment. If you do leave a comment, please make sure it is constructive and polite criticism, or pointing out a clerical error. That will help other people. Don't simply say, this is dumb. Don't say, wow, that's really bad because XYZ, 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 because it's not. I've used it. It was successful. So, again, thanks for watching. Please tell your friends about me, I should say. Please thumb up, please favorite, please subscribe. All the good spiel you always hear me say. Anyway, thanks again, was fun, and I can't wait to put another one out for you. See ya!